All right, so Cooper Kupp is one that I tend to doubt, Davis. Why do I doubt? I look at huge numbers in sports for anyone and say they can't do that again. That's just generally the thinking is that when you put up a historical season like he did, the thought process has got to be he can't do it again. I thought that last year. I was wrong. He went above every number again. So, Davis, I will ask you again, 3 years in a row for Cooper Kupp, buying in on this once more.
Yeah, I mean, Cooper Kupp is a phenomenal player. He's got multiple 1,000-yard seasons under his belt, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns in 2019, 950 yards, 3 touchdowns, a little bit of a downturn for him in 2020. Then the team trades for Matthew Stafford, and far and away, Cooper Kupp was the biggest beneficiary. But also remember, before Robert Woods tore his ACL last season, he had played in 9 games. He had 5 touchdowns. He had 600 receiving yards and 50 rushing yards. Like, he was also having a pretty good season. And it really was just those 2 guys. Van Jefferson wasn't contributing. Tyler Higbee and Gerald Everett weren't really earning targets. Darrell Henderson was doing fine. I would say probably the biggest thing in Cooper Kupp's corner is teams had every opportunity to stop him last season. You know, the Rams played 4 playoff games. And if you take out, even if you take out some of the huge explosive games at the beginning of the season where it seemed like no one was quite ready for Cooper Kupp moving out of the slot, coming out of the backfield, like they had 21 games of film to look at the Rams offense and say, how do we stop Cooper Kupp, even after Odell Beckham Jr. tore his ACL in the Super Bowl, and it's like Van Jefferson is running on fumes and Kendall Blanton is out there. The Bengals still could not stop Cooper Kupp. He had a couple key receptions in the second half of that Super Bowl win. In fact, I remember thinking that Cooper Kupp maybe should have won Super Bowl MVP. Of course, does not end up winning. They always give it to the quarterback. But I have basically no hesitation taking Cooper Kupp where he goes. And in fact, he is now going after Justin Jefferson. And is there a reasonable argument that you could take Jefferson or Chase over him? Sure. But then when you start getting into, do we take Cooper Kupp or Devontae Adams? Do we take Cooper Kupp or CeeDee Lamb? Cooper Kupp or Travis Kelce? I think it's clearly Cooper Kupp. I mean, there is actually probably an argument that Cooper Kupp could maybe even be targeted more this season than in last season, right? Allen Robinson maybe starts a little bit slow. They don't have a second receiving tight end. Odell Beckham Jr., if he even does end up re-signing with the Rams, which some people are speculating because it's so close to the season and he hasn't been signed, he won't be active until November or December. I mean, Cooper Kupp could see a Devontae Adams-esque target share. I mean, Cooper Kupp last season only 191 targets, but compare that to some of the wide receiver 1 seasons we've seen in the past. Antonio Brown, Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams, all of those guys have 200 plus target seasons. So maybe a hot take, but I actually could see Cooper Kupp declining in efficiency, but improving in volume this season.